Welcome to Reading with Dad, where stories bring us together. Tiana and the Mardi Gras Parade, a Disney Princess book. By Brittany Mazik. Tiana's arms ached under the weight of the heavy bags of flour and sugar, but she didn't care. It was Mardi Gras season in New Orleans, and the air brimmed with cheer. "Oh, there just isn't a better time of year," she said to Mama Odie, as they walked into her restaurant. Tiana loved cooking for folks from faraway places, who traveled to Tiana's palace for her Mardi Gras specials. She served savory Creole stews, like crawfish étouffée. She had brightly colored desserts called king cakes. And of course, there were her famous fluffy beignets and world-famous gumbo. Tiana grinned when her friend Charlotte waltzed into the restaurant. "You are coming with me to my Mardi Gras ball," Charlotte exclaimed. Tiana read the elaborate invitation Charlotte showed her. "Why, Lottie, this looks simply wonderful. I'll try my hardest to make it," she said. Charlotte hugged Tiana tight. "Tia, you must. The big ball is my favorite part of Mardi Gras. Please, Tia," she squealed. Before Tiana could respond, Eudora raced into the restaurant, her arms filled with purple, green, and gold fabrics. "I've made at least 100 gowns for that very ball," Eudora said. "Make 105, declared Charlotte. "I need choices." Eudora placed the back of her hand to her forehead. "Oh, my. Maybe just 1 or 2 more. Besides, every second-line band in town will be parading in one of my costumes. Won't you come and see them all with me, Tiana?" Tiana loved parading along with the brass bands, but there was no time for both a ball and second lining. However, before she could say anything, Louie and the Firefly Five marched in. Tiana snapped her fingers as Louie tapped his webbed feet and blared his trombone. "What's Mardi Gras without a little jazz?" he asked, then followed it with a raspy, "Doo-wah, doo-wah, doo-wah." Louie tossed Tiana a tambourine. "We have a big Mardi Gras gig tomorrow in the French Quarter, Tiana. Say you'll come and see us play." Tiana wiped a bead of sweat from her brow. So many friends, so much to do. Just then, the doors swung open again. It was Naveen and his friends, who had traveled all the way from Maldonia to New Orleans. "Tiana, we will go dancing every night. Please come with us," said Naveen. He took her hand and swirled her like a spinning top. Tiana couldn't think of anything she loved more than celebrating Mardi Gras with her friends. But they all had different ideas about what they wanted to do. Just as Tiana began chopping okra for a batch of gumbo, Mama Odie burst into the kitchen. "What's the matter? Gator chomped your spirit?" Mama Odie asked her. "More like all of my time." Tiana grabbed her father's old gumbo pot with a sigh and began filling it with ingredients. "How can I possibly be in 4 places at once tomorrow?" "You're your daddy's daughter. You'll find a way. Sometimes the answer you're looking for is right underneath your nose." Tiana took a sip from her wooden spoon. She could taste the perfect balance of vegetables, seafood, sausages, and... "That's it. I need to combine everything just like gumbo. If everyone was in one place, I wouldn't have to decide who to spend Mardi Gras with." Tiana knew just the way to get them all together, and she knew who she could count on to help her. The next day, Tiana arrived at the LeBouf mansion. Big Daddy was waiting with an old float. "Ready?" he asked. Tiana nodded. Now all she needed were her friends. Big Daddy steered the float to Eudora's house. Eudora was in the middle of a dress fitting with Charlotte. She gave Tiana a puzzled look as Tiana explained what was happening. "We're going to a parade. No Mardi Gras is complete without fabric for decorating." "And you have the best in town," Tiana said, beaming. "Well, all right," said Eudora. Tiana, Eudora, Charlotte, and Big Daddy wrapped yards of shimmery gold fabric around the float until it was just right. "What about me?" asked Charlotte. Tiana grabbed a crown and placed it on top of Charlotte's head. "Every float needs a princess or two, right, Lottie?" Charlotte's eyes began to twinkle. Tiana smiled at Charlotte as the float took off, heading for their next stop. Big Daddy drove straight to the Jazz Hall, where Louie and the Firefly Five were warming up. "How about taking that concert to go?" Tiana called to them. The band exchanged excited glances before joining the float. Just one more stop, cheered Tiana. With Naveen and his friends on board, the float was complete. It had just the right amount of Mardi Gras magic. With Eudora's fancy fabrics, Charlotte's grand costume, Louis's brass horns, and Naveen's dancing. It was time for the parade. The crowds were cheering. Tiana and her friends tossed beads and doubloons into the air. The parade grew bigger and bigger. Just like a big old pot of gumbo, bubbling with all sorts of delicious ingredients, the parade brought together the things and people Tiana loved the most. She finally realized that the key to Mardi Gras was as simple as that. The end.